Because we the two best fighters of our era, still, going strong. Everybody else is, either younger than us or, passed and retired. So why not? I want to challenge myself. The best always looking to fight the best and challenge themselves.
At one particular time, I did talk about. I did say Terence Crawford.
Okay.
Now, but what are we rating these fighters on? What are we rating these fighters on?
Floyd Mayweather's eyeball test.
That works.
You're
for me.
eyeballing these guys. You watch Terence Crawford.
Yo, yeah. So he was pound for pound. Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd? Who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Oh, Terence Crawford finally saying yes to Floyd Mayweather on Instagram Live. Now that's wild. And let's be real. Floyd's not jumping in because he wants the smoke. He's jumping in because he can't stand anyone else holding the spotlight for two.
I'm talking about skill for skill. That's what I'm talking about. And Crawford is more, in my opinion, is more skilled. And I know I'm going to get hell for this, but he's more skilled than Floyd Mayweather. That shoulder roll is not going to work against Terence Crawford. He knows how to beat that too.
The man treats attention like oxygen. And you and I both know, Crawford's not here to just share the ring. He's here to rewrite the script. That shoulder roll, Bud would turn it into a dance challenge by round 3. Floyd's legacy is untouchable, but right now, he's like an old iPhone, still iconic. But Crawford is the software update nobody asked for. And everybody's scared of him.
Crawford is better than Floyd?
No, I think they're different fighters. I just feel like you can't compare two different. They're definitely two different type of fighters. They're both great at their styles and what they do. But I don't like to compare because they're two different generations, but both of them were dominant,
If this fight happens, Floyd's pride will walk him in, but Crawford's skill might walk him out. Alright, so after we're done talking about Floyd versus Crawford fantasy matchups, boom, we land right in Brian Bayomack McIntyre's interview. And let me tell you, the man didn't just sip tea, he dumped the whole pot on the table. He basically said what we were all thinking, but we're too polite to say. Crawford didn't just beat Canelo Alvarez, he downloaded him like a Windows update.
After the fight was over and then you sit back and you watch the fight, yes, it was easy. It was easy. It don't seem like it when you in the corner and you looking. Sometimes you can't see the camera guy right here. He might get caught with this shot. The crowd go wild and it's like, damn. But when you sit back and you go watch it, he did exactly what we thought he was going to.
And the wild part, Bayomack admits it looked easy after the fact, like Crawford was in there solving a Rubik's Cube, while Canelo was still reading the instructions. You and I both know that's the kind of performance that makes legends mad. Floyd's at home, pacing around like, easy, easy. That was supposed to be my word.
Fight go exactly as you had mapped out in your mind and what you thought would manifest itself. As much as one can. As much as one can.
It was 100% how we thought it was going to
Did it?
It was 100%. Him stepping forward, him throwing the wide shots, him moving his head, him trying to fight on the inside. It went just like how we wanted it to go. That's what performance you guys got.
But here's the thing, when Bayomack breaks it down, it's not arrogance. It's confidence backed by receipts. We're talking about a team whose corner runs smoother than Netflix, buffering on good Wi-Fi. And honestly, if you didn't catch that fight live, you probably missed history, because Crawford didn't just outbox Canelo. He made his corner look like a masterclass in how to coach, organize, and clown your opponent all at the same time.
Likely find itself in recognition of what he achieved, because what he's achieved is phenomenal, right?
Right. I'm sure Terence probably can care less what people say about him, but one thing he did, he said that really stuck with me, and it's going to stick with y'all too. Yeah. They're going to miss me when I'm gone.
So after Bayomack finished cooking Canelo with that it looked easy line, we jumped straight into David Benavidez on Inside the Ring. And let me tell you, this man came in throwing haymakers with his words before he even touched a glove. He flat out said Canelo is scared of him. And honestly, I believe it, because if you've got a guy screaming for smoke every single day and you keep pretending you don't hear the doorbell, that's not strategy. That's hiding behind the couch, hoping the Mexican monster goes away.
Seeing him handle my presence he's definitely scared of me. If you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter because I know that elevates me and who I...
Spoiler alert, he ain't going anywhere. And you, me, and everybody watching know Benavidez is built like the final boss in a video game. He doesn't just want to beat you, he wants to delete you from the cartridge. And the best part? Benavidez didn't just call out Canelo, he did it with that calm, scary confidence. The kind where you're like, oh yeah, he means every single word. He's basically saying, Canelo, you missed your chance when I was green. Now I'm ripe and you can't touch me.
If he had a chance to beat me, it would have been back then. He has no chance of beating me now, especially now I'm getting all this confidence. I'm stepping into my prime. I'm learning my craft better and better each and every single fight. I'm gaining more confidence every single fight. And like I said, I really want to go in there and hurt people. I'm not a boxer. I'm a warrior, and I go in there.
That's not trash talk. That's a funeral announcement for anybody still holding on to the old Canelo mystique. We've got to give credit because Crawford just dismantled Canelo. But Benavidez is making it crystal clear, if Canelo wants that smoke now, it's a one-way ticket to a beating. And honestly, I'm here for it. Because boxing's been missing that energy where a guy doesn't just want to win. He wants to prove you were ducking him for a reason.
First of all, I just want to give Terence Crawford a great congratulations. You know, he's reached a part in history that not only is he a great fighter, but you could tell in that fight by seeing this combination right now how much of a dog he is. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of fighters could take a lot of notes from Terence Crawford, not only physically, but take notes in the heart aspect. And I give it all up to Terence Crawford. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time, and you know, we salute Terence.
So after Benavidez dropped that smoke about Canelo, Greg Hackett came in with a whole different angle, and honestly, I love it. He's basically saying, pump the brakes, Crawford. You just climbed Everest. Don't go sprinting up another mountain tomorrow. And he's right, because what happens after the biggest win of your life? That's when the boxing hangover kicks in. You beat the wolf. You beat the shark. Cool. But now, who's left to keep you obsessed in training camp the same way Canelo did? That's the danger, not the opponent, not the punches. It's complacency. And you and I both know that's the silent knockout nobody sees coming.
Is when you beat a guy like Canelo, it's almost like, who else? Like, why would I fight anybody else? The reason I'm saying that, who's going to put you in that mindset of working just as hard as you work for Canelo? Not saying he's not going to work. You're going to work. But is you going to be that obsessed with the next opponent? Because you got to remember, Canelo is the guy right now in the sport that's supposed to be the man, you know, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, well, so I'm gonna fight.
And the way Hackett framed it, man, it's savage truth. He basically compared it to the morning after a wild night. You're still buzzing, but reality comes swinging at you harder than a left hook. And he's right. Crawford's riding the biggest high of his career. If he takes the wrong fight too soon, it could all come crashing down. That's not disrespect, that's respect. Because Hackett knows Bud's that good. But greatness is tricky. It's not just about beating monsters. It's about staying sharp when the monsters don't scare you anymore. And if Crawford isn't careful, that boxing hangover could hit harder than any punch he's ever taken.
Major fight where you really had to get ready. So it was like, he put it all in on this one. So now how people look at him, they couldn't believe it. So it's like he like the new Houdini right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't supposed to do it. And he did it, but not only did he do it, he made it look easy.
Hackett had us talking about that boxing hangover, and then boom, we slide right into Jaron Boots Ennis, and the dude keeps it real. Boots didn't even try to dress it up. He straight up admitted he passed out before the fight started. And honestly, I respect it. That's every one of us who swears we're gonna stay up for that main event at 1 a.m. Then wakes up to the TV, asking, are you still watching? But even half asleep, Boots knew what was up. He saw Crawford do something historic and gave him his flowers right away.
Yo, I wanted to fall asleep. I'm like, yo, I can't stay up no longer. I just wanted to fall asleep. But that was a great one for Crawford. Go fight for boxing. I seen some highlights on the gram stuff.
And here's what I love. Ennis didn't make excuses. He didn't sugarcoat it. He was like, yo, I caught the highlights, and Bud still looked like a cheat code. That tells you how real it was. Crawford's greatness was so loud that even a highlight reel was enough to prove it. And let's be honest, if Boots is calling it a great win for Crawford, you and I both know it wasn't just great, it was monumental, because that's one future star tipping his hat to another. And when fighters like Ennis show love, you better believe the whole sport feels the shift.
Good win, you know, he accomplished a historic goal, and good one for him.
Were you surprised about the outcome?
I mean, it's boxing, anything happens, you know, so good one for him.
So now, the big question, what's next for Crawford? After conquering Canelo, it's like the man is running out of mountains to climb. We can sit here and play matchmaker all day. But let's be real, every fighter from 147 to 168 is looking at Bud like he's holding the last golden ticket to boxing immortality. Does he chase Benavidez at one? Does he give Errol Spence Jr. another go just to rub it in? Or does he do the unthinkable and call out Floyd Mayweather for one last mega payday? Whatever road he picks, you and I both know it's going to shake the sport again because Bud doesn't take side quests. He only fights final bosses.
When you'd want to see Bud fight in this era that you think, you know what, that'd be a great fight.
Well, I would say Benavidez, but he's too, you know, that weight class is too high for him. So, you know, where he's at now is great.
And here's the kicker. Crawford's stock is so high right now that boxing almost feels like it's orbiting around him. He's not just the guy with belts, he's the guy with options. You could throw his name next to literally anyone, and the storyline writes itself. And for us fans, that's the dream because we're not just watching history anymore. We're waiting to see which page Bud decides to write next. And if you ask me, whatever it is, somebody's career is about to get turned into a highlight clip.
He should have maybe fought Benavidez instead. Maybe that would have been a better fight for him.
Who?
Benavidez.
Oh no, Benavidez would destroy him. Not even close. Just like Benavidez would destroy Crawford.
And that's a wrap, fam. From Floyd chasing spotlight oxygen, to Biomac clowning Canelo, to Benavidez calling himself the final boss, to Hackett warning about the boxing hangover, and even Boots tipping his hat half asleep. It all circles back to one truth. Terence Crawford is the sun, and the rest of boxing is just orbiting around him. But I gotta know what you think. Does Floyd risk his legacy? Does Bud hunt down Benavidez? Or should he walk off as the man who dethroned Canelo and mic dropped on the sport? Drop your takes in the comments. Let's debate it. And yo, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Headquarters because we're not just watching history. We're talking it into existence every week.